Oh yeah, give them, give them. Bese, Tola sang as she did the latest dance steps. One would think you are even a staff. The way you are rejoicing, Shalewa said, laughing. That one no mean anything. At least you will buy me recharge card. Tola continued happily, dancing with flour all over her hands that she had removed from the dough. You must buy for me too. I'm also a student, Dapo added. Make una kukuma collect the whole salary, Comfort said. Ataya o, Shalewa said, laughing. I can't wait to start earning a salary, Joseph said with a sigh. Soon, Joseph, soon, Chioma said sympathetically. I want to make money, but I still want to continue to be a student, Tola said. Tola, shey no dey catch you to be making some statements, sha? Joseph exclaimed. Shame for what now? Tola asked, spreading out her hands in question. Adulthood na scam, abeg. Who wants to be paying bills when others can pick up the tab for you? She continued as she laughed in self-mockery. I don't blame you, my baby girl. When I collect salary, remove feeding, do the monthly contributions for my children's school fees and house rent. I know say adulthood na risk scam, Chioma the single mom added. Notwithstanding, I would rather earn money and pay my bills than be at the mercy of anyone, Shade replied. You know say you, na Madamada's mentee you be. Strong Women Association of Nigeria, Tola injected as she made a show of power with her tiny biceps. She catwalked around the bakery and pulled the top of her apron like a model. You see this Tola, eh? I want to be a baby girl for life. I mean, babies are taken care of. I want to be taken care of. After my parents have done their own finish, then I will move to my husband's house and the care continues, she said in poor English, laughing. Oh, she, my person, baby girl for life. Why stand to pay bills when you can sit and be taken care of? Bukola said, cheering for Tola. You girls can continue this after work. Please, Tola, bring the flour you are sieving, Shade cutting. Tola huffed as she hurriedly returned to the table and the abandoned flour. The youth empowerment program started in the third week of August. Today wasn't really convenient for her, but Ada had to create time to be there for the inaugural opening of the program. Saturdays were really their main business day, but this was also important. Giving back was what made her sing. Several people think Oasis Bakery was her pride and joy, but it wasn't. Though she was always thankful for her journey and how God had helped her, but nothing gives her much joy as those she assisted the church to train in pastry. Her joy was seeing them tell their success story just because she gave a helping hand. Now, that was what success meant to her. Hello, Ada, a voice called out as she walked towards the entrance of the children's church. Ada turned to see Bode walking right up to her. Hello, Bode, Ada called out in surprise as she waited for him to join her. What a pleasant surprise. Same here. Are you here to cater for an event? Bode asked as he eyed her chef coat. Ada laughed softly. Now that you put it that way, I may say you are correct. Only that I came to cater for an empowerment program that the church is holding and not to supply them pastries. So sorry, my bad. Are you one of the facilitators then? He asked. Yes, I am. So what brings you to my church? This is your church? Bode asked. Yes, sir. I am on the hot seat today. I have to run as the program starts in another 10 minutes. Ada said as she resumed walking. I am one of the facilitators, Bode said as he walked alongside. Really? Ada asked in surprise, stopping mid-stride. I will be taking them in biodigester technology, he added. Ada looked at the handsome dark-skinned man before she resumed walking. She loved the fact that she could look up to him at 6 feet, as she had to look down a lot of people. It made her excited. She had always told God to give her a man she would look up to in all spheres of life, including heights. That was if marriage was in his plans for her. Her thoughts made her chuckle. Her body wondered if he missed a joke. Ada swiftly reined in her thoughts and became sober as she berated herself for even thinking that she was unlovable. No, I am sorry. It didn't just occur to me that you were one of the facilitators. It's truly a small word. Yes, I do agree with you on that. Imagine us running into each other here, he replied with a smile. At the end of the program, Ada had 5 youths to train. She knew she couldn't accommodate the 5 of them in the bakery on a full-time basis. but she will have to draw up a plan for them. Stella, one of the youth leaders, handed the four facilitators the schedule for the 3 months program. It seems we will be on duty together more often, but they said, springing up from behind her. Oh dear, Ada turned with a hand on her chest in fright. So sorry, Ada. I didn't mean to frighten you. An apologetic body said. No, you didn't. I didn't know you were so engrossed in your thoughts. Body interrupted. I was thinking of how I will accommodate the 5 trainees that have shown interest in pastries. Why? I have 8 students and about 8 bakery staff. I am stretched to the max, she replied. Then stick to only the theory that will be held in the church. But they said, waving the paper that had their training schedules. How do you teach pastries without the practical? So why did you agree to do this when you can't accommodate them? Good question, with a long answer, Ada replied. I have time, so why don't you talk about the long answer? Ada sighed and looked around the crowded hall and shook her head. Not the right place, she replied. Okay then, let's talk about it over lunch, but they said after checking the time on his wristwatch. Ada laughed. What? Did I say something wrong? He asked curiously. Sorry, you didn't say anything wrong. Just that it sounded odd. I mean, who invites a caterer for lunch? We are the ones making lunch and serving others, she finished comically. But they laughed heartily. Okay, so don't look at it in that light. Why not look at it as 2 friends who just want to have a chat over lunch? He added. Okay, Ada agreed reluctantly. 2 friends who just want to have a chat over lunch, she repeated. Yes, or are we not friends? She nodded before adding that she believes that they were friends. So shall we? He asked. Excuse me, please, a voice interrupted. They both turned to look at the young lady who had 2 fancy bags that she extended to each of them. This is for both of you, ma and sir. They both collected the bags and thanked her. Ada peeped into the bag that contained a bag of food and drinks. So we got food and drink, but they exclaimed after looking into the bag. Yes, right? Ada responded, beaming with smile. One problem is out of the way. Why don't we go to the car, sit and chat over this meal? He asked, raising his bag. I am famished, so what do you say? But they added, looking expectantly at Ada. She smirked and nodded slowly in acceptance. When they got to the car park, they agreed to sit in Bode's utility van. After saying the grace over the meal, they ate with gusto. Wow, I didn't realize how hungry I was, Ada exclaimed as she covered her mouth with her hands as she spoke while eating. So why did you agree to do this when you obviously can't accommodate them? He asked again. Ada slowly lowered the spoonful of rice she had and looked out the windscreen of the vehicle. After some few moments, she started speaking slowly. Some years ago, I was all alone. I mean, I had no one. I was all alone in a city where I knew no one, while trying to make a meaning of life. One sunny day, I stood at the roadside at Beggar bus stop with a transparent bucket of snacks. A woman stopped to ask for directions. I was able to give her directions. She left, then turned back to ask how I was a roadside trader when I spoke so well. But they looked at her in surprise. He had never thought to question her pedigree because she spoke so well and had a lucrative business. He had assumed she had a family and a good support system. Wow, I would never have guessed you had such a rough life, he said softly. No, I didn't always have a hard life. I grew up in a family who gave me the best as much as they could. But I had to live to chart my path in life. Anyway, the woman who spoke to me as I roasted in the Lagos afternoon sun that day was Pastor Joke. You don't see, but they exclaimed as both had forgotten about their meals. Ada smiled briefly. Yes, it was Pastor Joke. She didn't leave me on the street after that encounter. I know it was a divine arrangement. I moved to Abeokuta some 2 weeks afterwards. She took me into her home and the church sent me to catering school. That alone has made me vowed to give back, not only to the church, but others. She finished with a sigh. Wow, you are an Amazon. I am just a woman who has scars. No, I am not. from the blows and wounds life has given me. Only that I choose to wear my scars as medals. And you wear them so wonderfully well, Ada. But why am I telling you this? She asked as she rubbed her forehead. We are friends, remember? Friends? I've never spoken to anyone about this before. Not even Damisi. Really? Maybe you needed to find a true friend to open up to. Does this embarrass you? I mean, opening up to me about your life. Interestingly, I find it easy speaking with you. And no, I am not embarrassed, Ada said, staring at him. I am glad to hear that. I wouldn't want you to be embarrassed in any way. And whatever you have said remains between us. But they released the pent-up hair and laughed slightly. Thank you, she said as she lifted her head to look at him. No, I should thank you for trusting me enough to confide in me, he replied. So now I understand where you're coming from. But what do you do? He asked, referring to the training. I can accommodate too, and actually thought there wouldn't be more than that. I've always given the church 2 training slots yearly, so I just assumed that there wouldn't be more than that. Who wouldn't want to learn from the best? You are really good at the craft, madam, Bode said with pride. Ada looked so happy as she smiled at him with joy. That's a very kind thing to say, Ada said. I will work something out. I think I have some students who should be rounding up next month, or I can do a timetable of sorts. You are brilliant. I know you will come up with something. Ada huffed. Brilliant? She sighed. Yes, now, it takes brilliance, grit, and guts to run a business with about 20 workers. You are my role model, sis, he said, and they both laughed. Ada neatly packed up the remaining meal. I need to leave now, Ada said. Thanks for lending your hair. It was really good speaking with you, she added. But they looked at her intently. Thanks for the honor, Ada. Thank you. And please, if you feel like sharing, you can call on me anytime. Consider me your friend. But they stretched out his hand for a handshake, and she obliged him warmly. They both looked into each other's eyes for a moment. Thank you, Bode. Thank you very much, she said, and quickly got out of the vehicle. She waved at him and proceeded towards her car.